What's up, everybody? We're back. We got Micheal Hill here again. It's amazing. 2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row. We said it was going to be every other week, but
I know, but then I'm going to be gone next week. So you graciously said
I made some time. I left my kids at home on their own.
That's fine. They're only like 1 and 2, so they can take care of themselves. They're fine.
5,
3 and 5. Yeah, they take care of themselves. You just put a little bowl of water on the ground.
They're not 3 and 5. They're 10
I
and
know.
7.
I know. We're kidding. We just. Yeah.
I mean, they are at home on their own, but they're perfectly capable children.
They're old enough.
Yeah.
They're good to go.
Got some friends who live down the street.
Scenario. This before we get going, important announcement. I almost beat Micheal Hill in golf yesterday. Huge deal.
Literally started. Like that's the opening line. Like it's nearly beat him.
Yeah,
he
look,
actually beat me. He just nearly beat me.
Nearly beat you. Beat me by 1 stroke. I just have to say it's coming where I will dominate Micheal on the golf course.
I'm gonna wrap this up so I can hit the driver.
Yes,
yeah. It's like go work on your short game.
And that's our show.
And that's our show. Yeah, it was a fun day though. I enjoyed it. It's twice this week.
Yeah, man, twice this week.
Podcast 2 weeks running. Played golf twice this week with you.
Look, I think there's something here. I think we got to do golf and a podcast minimum every other week.
You ever watch those? God, what are they called? They call the good guys or something. They have a great golf.
Good. Yeah, like the good golf. Yeah.
Good golf. Yeah.
So damn funny.
Yeah, those guys have got it.
Is it YouTube? Or is
it is a YouTube thing.
That's what you guys need to do is mic yourselves up. Mic yourselves up, have little cameras on the course with you, and just have
we do this podcast at golf while drinking.
Wow.
It's literally my favorite concept of all time ever, and I'm 100% into it.
I think a lot of people would listen, and a lot of people would not listen.
Yeah, but they'd be able to watch us fail around a golf course.
That, but also, I mean, some of the best ideas we've ever had came on the golf course.
True.
100%.
We have some phenomenal ideas.
But business is done.
It is.
I know.
It is if you want it to be. That's the thing. I play a lot
of
golf, but I do it very strategically with people that I want to talk to.
Yeah. No, we had a good group yesterday, man.
We had a great group yesterday. It was fun.
Tokenizing real estate. There's a whole lot of talks about that.
Yep.
That's the reason I played in high school. I was like, I want to have enough skill in golf and be good enough that, like, if I want to go out on the course with people down the road for business,
I agree with you.
It's
a life skill. My 10-year-old is a pretty legit golfer already, and he's playing PGA Junior League. By the time he's 16, he'll be, if he sticks with it, he'll be a scratch golfer, and then that's a lifelong skill. I mean, he can
100%.
He can accept any invite to go play golf and not show up in a way and be confident enough to have the business conversation as well as play the golf.
Yep.
I want to be clear though that I can show up at any course anytime and I'll play. I may not play well. I will play. I'll have to bring at least 6 or 7 sleeves of balls.
I'm going to do you a favor.
For sure.
Make sure that we don't leave the golf conversation without mentioning that Nate has a 315-yard drive.
This is fact.
This is fact. His drive, it doesn't necessarily go where he wants it to go, but
but you can hammer it
away.
Hey, very first drive on that driver, it was a brand new driver I got. So I've been literally hitting the same clubs for 12 years. So that I bought off eBay. But the first hole, first drive, 315 in the fairway.
Yep.
Nice.
I almost hit the group in front of us.
You sure did. Cut that corner real nice too. Most people can't get over that bunker.
Dog leg right.
Yeah. Dog leg left. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which was lucky on that particular tee.
Yeah.
That's the direction it went that time.
Exactly. Enough about my great game of golf. Let's move on. We got a lot to talk about. A lot of things to talk about. Yes. Fed now. So let's see here. Fed now. A lot of people talk about it being a CBDC, but it's not actually a CBDC in the fact that the federal government, there's some weird thing they're trying to push to make it say that it's not a CBDC. I mean, it's acting the same way, right? Central bank digital currency, essentially. The Fed now is a way to speed up and cheapen payments. They make it so it's much more efficient. You can send payments instantly within seconds or minutes or less.
Oh, the central clearing is the biggest part, right?
Yeah, and it's super cheap. But here's the thing: we already have that technology. It's already out there. It's weird that they had to build their own little Fed Now deal, because what it doesn't have is a built-in immutable ledger that anybody can look at.
Nope.
So that's the big key thing that we're missing on that whole thing. So,
but I mean, the previous clearing system didn't either.
No, of course not. They don't want that.
They don't want that.
No, but it's a big deal because, I mean, you have Venmo, you have PayPal, Cash App. You have a lot of these different apps that can send money to people right now,
Well, I mean,
fairly
even
quickly.
US Bank has that.
Zelle. Yep.
And there's, I think that is not just US Bank, right? There's a couple of others that have that.
Zelle,
most banks
across the board for the most part, I think.
Right, and that Fed Now is, I think, is it not just a replacement backbone for Zelle?
I think exactly what it's going to do. It's also going to make it so Zelle's limited in the amount you can send as well. I think it's $5,000.
And Fed Now's 500 grand at the core.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
Do they have a limit? I didn't.
They do.
Think they have a
on
limit.
the Fed Now system, it's 500,000. However, individual banks are able to compress that limit down to whatever they feel is appropriate.
Gotcha.
I think some of the concerns were, which is funny, it was like the instant concern was, well, you're literally just speeding up a run on banks.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Like, well, yes, maybe, but ultimately,
because somebody has to hold the cash somewhere. I mean, regardless if you send in money, even though it's a ledger, like this money has to be somewhere, right? I can't just send you $500 without me having $500, right? And that's where you talk about the clearinghouse itself is one of the biggest issues that I see in what you talk about, a run on the bank potential. If you're pushing this amount of transfers that quickly, where does that fail at, right? Where is that failure going to be in the fact that the banks already don't have enough money to be able to take?
Right, because they're leveraged to what?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
and here's the other thing.
There's a set percentage that they have to
10%, I think, of their.
Yeah.
Is it even that? And does it even include cash?
Legally, I think it's like 10% of. I was looking at this the other day, but yeah, it's like none of them do it. I mean, how many times have you gone to a bank and they're like, "Oh, we gotta do a money order from."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Somewhere else.
I need $50,000 in cash. Sure, you can pick it up Thursday.
Yeah,
it's my money and I want it right now.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, I think the one thing too that we look at is these are all bank to bank transfers. So the banks themselves, you're not getting a run on a bank to go to another bank unless that for some reason that bank is failing. And so you're not going to have a run on all banks that's going to affect them because, again, it's bank to bank transfer. It's not like you are going to take that money out and put it into your own personal wallet that you control, like a blockchain wallet, a crypto wallet. It's just a way for, I feel like, them to just get a little bit more control over what's happening in the financial sector with money.
Yeah. No, I would say, and I'm not a pro, but it seems like it's a little bit too little too late.
Yeah.
To be honest. I mean, they proposed this in 2019. It took them 4 years to get it developed.
Yeah.
Will they have 35 early adopting banks? I read this morning, they had 41, but
I've seen
service providers. I'm assuming one of those is Zelle that we were just talking about. But I don't see there's a huge drive for people to change the way they're doing what they're doing already. It is just on the backbone side that this is making any sense.
Yeah. Well,
and I think it's interesting that it's all branded Fed.
Right.
That's like,
well, it's like the Federal Reserve is branded Fed, but it's not the actual.
That was named in 1860.
Yeah.
It was like when the federal government was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
No, it's not. And so Fed, for crypto people like us.
Yeah.
Where we kind of live outside of the
box
of the burn it all down crew.
Yeah, exactly.
Fed branded stuff is not cool.
No, and I think that's do you get a pendulum switch, some way, somehow? I don't think so. Not in our lifetime.
No. I don't even think in my lifetime. I mean, it's my generation is only further entrenched in the mindset of the government is not looking out for your best interests, and I
Correct.
don't know how that's ever going to get changed.
No.
Yeah. It was interesting because I was looking at some information on FedNow, and the first thing that popped up was, I was actually looking because I read this beforehand, was that when they first announced FedNow, they're like, we're not using blockchain technology. And then I read
Question 1, why not?
Question 1, why not?
Yeah.
Question 2, as it came down the road, then they were like, well, we're going to be able to integrate with blockchain technology. And they had a blockchain, I think it was like Metal blockchain or something like that. I couldn't find it. So I was searching this morning trying to figure out which one they were having that they were integrating stuff with and working with.
Did you say metal?
Metal.
As in
METAL.
Okay, not MEDDLE.
No. Metal.
That seems appropriate for the Fed.
Yeah. But the first thing that came up was, does FedNow use XRP? Which was funny because obviously a lot of people were all excited about XRP and everything that went down.
Friendly pally now. Yeah. I don't know. It'd be interesting. Is it live now? Are they doing transactions in FedNow right now on the backside?
Yeah, they've been testing it with a few banks to start for the last few months, and now they're opening up to more banks.
And ultimately, with those 16 service providers, nobody's really going to notice any difference because the intermediary that runs the bank-to-bank transfer is already providing instant settlement for the consumer. It's only on the backside that the settlement is faster now, which I don't give a shit.
We don't see it. Like if I'm sending $500, it doesn't cost me any money. I'm sending it for free. So there's no issues there. And it's all going to be on the the other side. Early adopter financial institutions.
Well, it is funny, like you mentioned,
a few of those in there.
Reuters reports 41 financial institutions, but the federal, like on the FedNow pages, they say 35.
I was going to say, I read that article this morning. That was my research for this podcast, was the Reuters one.
Yeah, so it's... I mean, your big banks are all doing it.
Oh, yeah, of course they are. You got to get the big banks behind it so they can,
I think the Reuters article alluded to the fact that the Fed had to maybe strong arm a few of those up the top there. Specifically, US Bank was named, and Wells Fargo as well, I think. What have to use this?
What were they strong arming them for? What was the...
Just saying that they had to adopt it.
Oh, basically get on board or get the hell out.
Yeah.
Of course, you got to have them there.
Make us look good. Bye.
Yeah,
I was gonna say something super rude, but I'm not going to.
It's okay. But anyways, I mean, it's one of the big things that came out this week, and obviously, with the XRP thing, everybody was super excited, and you had your long-term holders that they've been, and also essentially what it is XRP trading. I'm going to speak out of my ass here completely. That the way I understood it was, and I really didn't care too much about it, honestly, because I'm not an XRP holder, nor have I ever really been. I've traded it a couple times, but I never really was excited about it. But the XRP was supposed to be, or it's the trading on exchanges is not considered a security. The after the fact now that you have XRP, that's not a security. It was like the initial sale is still potentially a security because of the way it went down. Something along those lines.
So my question, I don't know if you have the answer to this, is since it's ruled not a security, how does taxing work on that? How does capital gains work on something that's not a security?
It's still an asset.
It's still an
asset that's appreciating in value or depreciating in value. So the security denomination, I guess, really has to do with accredited investment profiles and who can buy and who can sell, and the legality around the contracting.
But if you make money on it, it's still considered, you're still making money on it regardless.
Yeah. I mean, if this table suddenly became 4 times as valuable for some reason because I sat here, then
you're going
to get taxed on that.
Government wants to know about every $600 or over transaction now. So it's like, if I buy this table for $700, I have to report it, right? So now you have to pay income on that if you sold it to me. Even though
I don't want to sell it right now.
You sure? I'll make you a deal.
No, I think it's going to get more valuable.
Yeah.
No deal.
I'm looking at the XRP chart, just because it's funny that everybody's been vindicated and they've held for so long, and I am not a fan of the hold shit coins to zero or hold them for, even if you're so just excited about that situation. When you're in a position that you've made money on something, like, take some profits.
It's not financial advice, though, is it, Nate?
That's what I do. People can do what they want. I'm not giving you financial advice at all. But I mean, this is the chart, the XRP chart. This is 2018. I remember because my business partner at the time actually was super stoked about XRP, bought it like 20 cents or something like that. And
this is
versus
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. This is versus Bitcoin. I'll pull up the US dollar one too, but I did Bitcoin because, if you're wanting to hold a cryptocurrency and you're going to hold it long term, just hold Bitcoin. I mean, if you want to trade it, I don't know. Is the building falling down?
That was a couple of
I don't know, Chris.
Very large bangs.
Did you hear that, Blake?
Yes.
I do not know what they're doing out there.
Are they up in the loft?
Yeah, I think they have an event going on here tonight, so I'm gonna go check on something.
Okay.
Keep talking, Michael. Keep them interested.
I'll go back to the Fed Now thing because
let me switch my screen back.
I mean, we don't need to switch screens or anything, but having worked for the government for 5 years, I actually think, props are due in that. The whole concept was proposed in 2019 and they're delivering it mid 2023. That's actually pretty speedy for the government.
For the government
at something this scale.
Mm-hmm.
This is an all-encompassing backbone that took 4 years to develop during COVID or during the pandemic, and under some tight circumstances financially anyway. I'll give props where props are due on that. They did actually deliver something. How beneficial it is really doesn't affect me personally, but good job. I also think that this XRP settlement and some other things around the Coinbase and Binance SEC lawsuits, I am more bullish on how the US government specifically has kind of kowtowed a little bit and saying, okay, we can't buck this inevitable trend of moving towards digital currencies. And you were mentioning a central bank digital currency.
Yeah.
And I believe I've read some things, but I don't actually believe anything I read now. That
it's all written by AI.
Was there not a mandate from Biden to create one?
I think there was something along those lines.
Ago, he signed some kind of order, allegedly, because I read it on Reddit, and it may or may not be actually true, that he said that the US Treasury needs to create a digital version of the US dollar that is blockchain.
I don't think they said create it. I think it was they created a group that was basically going to research and put the time in for creating one, but they didn't. I don't think it was said we have to have it.
I also read, and this is only piquing interest on the peripheral, is that I heard that the US government is sitting on more than $1 billion of minted $1 coins because the US population refuses to use them.
Probably like the gold coin, like the.
Which in Europe, we've had the British pound coin, for forever. 30 years, and it just seems bizarre to me that they weren't able to force that adoption.
Hey, nobody likes to carry change around their pocket anymore. I mean, especially now, like you got Apple Pay and everything else. You can walk into a store. Like rarely do I bring cash unless I'm paying the.
But like those paper ones, man, they're disgusting.
The paper ones?
Yeah.
I don't use ones. You must be a pleb. I'm sorry.
Hey, I use ones all the time.
Yeah, you just go to the wrong clubs. When I go there to accept ones, bro. Just saying.
Yeah,
I hate the ones.
You get that post-nut clarity, you are overpaying. I took a dark turn.
Woo! Where we at? Where we at?
Yeah.
That's money.
Well, I want to talk about what you mentioned, bullishness wise, right? Like the XRP thing is bullish in the fact that now there's tons of shit coins out there that are like, hey, guess what? Our coin's out there. We're not a security. Trade the shit out of it. Go for it, and people can hold it and do their thing. A lot of people looked at it that way. I think.
I don't necessarily consider XRP to be a shitcoin. That's
everything other than Bitcoin is a shitcoin. Although I have to put ETH in that as well, because ETH actually has a lot of utility that people are doing. Everything else,
everything's built on ETH.
Show me something else that's actually. Show me a token that has a company behind it that actually makes money, that is creating a product that it needs an actual token for that.
Well, Bitcoin doesn't, so I don't know why we're aligning those two things. I'd go Monero.
Okay, you convinced me on that one.
Yeah,
I agree.
XMR is
for sure,
still out there
for sure,
and it is just a store of value. It does nothing else other
than
that.
I will not deny that at all.
Okay,
for sure.
Do I win?
You win. God, 2 days in a row. Yeah. I'm quitting right now.
Deadly just asked a question in our comments. He said, to the end user, what's the difference between a debit and credit card and digital currency?
Absolutely nothing. I mean, in the fact that the end user itself, as long as they're getting money that they can use, whether it's a sale at their business or they're just getting that product that they're buying, they don't care how it happens. As long as it's easy and streamlined. And
fees would be the...
People don't even look at fees anyway.
I know, but there is a bigger fee component to using crypto than there would be for using a debit card. And credit card clearing is, I still think there's a percentage of transaction in that, right?
It is.
Debit is not. Debit, I think there's a 50 cent.
No,
there's at the business end. I'm talking like at the business end.
On our, if you charge a debit card, it's the same debit. Well, it's not the same. It's similar. Because you get a fee when you're in the back end for debit and credit card. It's usually say, credit cards 2.whatever%, and then the debit card might be a little bit lower, but it's still.
I think it's a little bit lower.
A little bit, but not significant to where you're like.
Because you have to price the risk in on credit cards, where you don't have to price risk in debit cards.
It's actually better for credit, not debit, on the business side.
Because you're getting the guarantee on the credit card issuer, but the credit card issuer is pricing in on their percentage.
Average debit card fee is
the risk.
0.74%, or an averages out to about 34 cents.
And the average credit card fee is?
I think it's about 2.
Yeah,
so it's significantly lower to pay debit because
more than half.
Yeah, you're verifying the money's there, you're holding the money, and then you're clearing it. Credit card is you're pricing in a consumer's credit worthiness into the risk factor of we're paying this money on the basis that this person is then going to pay us back in the future for it, and they may or may not
on the credit card issuer side.
Yeah.
And then crypto is more like a debit card. However, the fees are variable because they're on chain gas transactions, whether it's ETH or whatever. So from a business point of view, from Deadly's question is, there is a variable risk in if I sell you something for $10 and you pay for it in Ripple.
But when you were talking about, I thought his question was for the end user like myself, that I'm actually buying something.
Right. And so over the large scale of the economy there's going to be some kind of priced in risk variation for those three payment methods.
That's true. Over the long run, as we go through, you're just kicking my ass on everything these days. Damn it. I agree with you, though.
You know why? Because I woke up sober.
I didn't give you enough drinks on the golf course yesterday.
That was a good day. I like that. That was a perfect day. Just the right amount of drinks.
I think, when you look at it in that sense, streaming it across the entirety of, that sector is going to be hard to break into anyway, like payments wise, right? That's another one where everybody's like, well, everyone's going to use XRP for payments. Like, no. Just like the federal government's going to create their own CBDC to, make sure they can control and utilize blockchain technology throughout. These companies like Visa and MasterCard and everything else, if they're going to, they're just going to integrate their own blockchain technology to integrate with CBDCs and or then distribute it out.
I felt like some of that was already happening.
Visa has patents on blockchain already. they're 100%. So
And that doesn't affect the end
No.
consumer in the slightest, because it's still going to just pull their card out and do
100%.
that.
Exactly. And even if they make it so it's cheaper for them, they're still going to charge you the same amount.
But this is exactly what you and I have talked about many times, which is in order to get true Web3 adoption, you have to make it look like Web2.
Yes.
The end consumer is
Yep.
has to be completely agnostic of what is happening in the background and say, I don't care. It's however you guys are doing it.
Yeah.
Whatever benefit you're getting out of it, fucking yay. But don't make me learn how to do something new.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be a very slow adoption process, like like the internet was when it first came around, right? Like, I mean, my dad sometimes I feel like still doesn't know how to use his computer. I'm like, okay, well,
there's a whole generation who just considers America Online to be the internet. It's like,
yeah,
I'm just going to go on the AOLs and find an answer.
yeah,
Right? But I think the phone payments is really where you're going to completely lose the differential on it. I mean, Apple Pay is already kind of there.
Again, they have their own blockchain that I think it actually uses blockchain.
To it. They're not, the card part doesn't really matter anymore.
No,
so it's like pay in. I mean, what? Cash App already does crypto. So does Venmo.
Yeah.
Well,
crypto as well.
I don't think you can pay with them. I think you can only buy.
You can buy.
Same with
transfer?
PayPal. Yeah, I don't think you can transfer it.
Yeah, I'm gonna transfer you some crypto and see if
Do it.
works.
Transfer it all to me. Because I have some on my Venmo and on my.
You're gonna be super disappointed, by the way.
Am I losing again? Is this round 2?
No. You're just gonna be disappointed with the amount of crypto I'm sending you. I'm gonna send it all to you, but it's not much.
I will have to say, I have to take back what I said earlier on, that I don't buy and hold cryptos. That's not true, because when PayPal first initiated their crypto ability to buy, I bought a bunch, and I haven't done anything with it. It's just sat there. So
in your PayPal account?
In my PayPal account, yeah. It's funny because I got a payment for. I had a truck that when I sold my business, that my business partner and we still had it, and we owned it. And I was like, I'm gonna buy my own truck. It was just an old piece of shit. And I was like, just if you want it, you can buy it or we can sell it. And he's like, no, I'll buy it from you. So he paid me half of that, and then I just put it all into crypto. And it within a year, it quadrupled or 5x or something crazy. And so I was like, I guess I just bought my own brand new truck.
Yeah,
that works. But then I never sold it, so then it went down, and I'm still up on it, but still. One of those weird ones. I always forget to have it on there when I go in there, and I'm like, oh yeah, how do I get that out of there? I have to sell it.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, you're probably right. I think on
I'm back on top, baby.
Are you? On Cash App, it does look like you can transfer Bitcoin.
Cash App, yeah. Yep, Cash App you can.
And then crypto on Venmo. I have Bitcoin Cash. That's still a thing.
You have Bitcoin Cash?
And it does not allow me to transfer. Oh, we'll need some info from you for that. It wants to KYC me.
Oh, that'd be interesting if you actually transfer it out. But
yeah.
Let's see here. I know a lot of people want us to talk about the Gala stuff that's going on. So I'm just going to briefly go over the fact that the vote isn't happening. They're pushing it out a week
because of the Comic-Con.
Yeah, and there's just a lot of dissension amongst the ranks. There's not really any clear-cut lines of people wanting to vote yes or vote no. Essentially, it is when they changed it from the first time, when they were supposedly taking people's their input and they were going to adjust it. All they did was adjust some minor things to the actual original proposal and didn't take any actual suggestions on differences for that proposal. So it's obvious they want this proposal to go through is.
And it says in there, we talked about yesterday, there's a line in there that says, we have decided that this is going to be the thing and that it's not going to come up again for another 12 months.
Right.
Who knows? I mean...
Which is funny when you talk about the whole idea behind it is the decentralization of it, yet this centralized entity is the one that's pushing this forward in the idea of it, which, to be honest, to get this, if they were to do that, you have to have a centralized agency to be able to decentralize it. You have to push it forward. because it's not set up for
you
that.
need
right
administration and coordination and all,
Yeah.
and
for sure.
development and
I
all these things.
personally completely disagree with the proposal. I don't think it's going to decentralize the network in the way that I feel is truly decentralization. We talked about it the last time, and it's the same thing in the fact that you're going to be able to multi-account. They've already stated that you can, if you have.
Is it in the proposal though? Because I know that it was stated by.
It's been stated
Brink, right?
multiple times,
and it's in the proposal that you are able to divide your.
That's a good question. I'm not sure. Well, the actual proposal is not even out.
I saw the one that was published a couple of
It's
days
just,
ago.
The
Medium article.
Yeah,
it was a synopsis of it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be in there or not, but it's a good thing that they should put that in there.
Well, you need to, before we all vote on it, we need to make sure it is in there when they when they put the language out for the vote.
Right.
We need to make sure that it does say you will be allowed to have multiple accounts on Gala, which is in contradiction to the actual user agreement. So they're going to have to change the user agreement in order to make
which there was a whole thing that just came out. Jake On-Chain Gaming, who had he's a big Ethereum, big Mirandus fan. He had his channel, and he kind of fell out of the whole Gala ecosystem because he tried to point some things out that they didn't enjoy,
right?
And so they fired him, and then they've been kind of silencing it. Well, he was multi-accounting for his Miranda stuff because he has a bunch of exemplars, so he was multi-accounting so he could play those exemplars. Well, they banned all of those accounts and all of the. So here's your problem, people. When you start thinking about this treasure chest that you have, like, listen to this. Whether he was multi-accounting and it was wrong or not, an issue that comes into play when this proposal is saying if you take anything out of your treasure chest, you go back, you basically start over on your bonus points that you're going to get for your node. Well, Jake got his accounts banned. He still has access to his wallet, which had everything that was in there, but he doesn't have any access to anything that was in his treasure chest, whether it was NFTs he got put over there, or he got the Ethereum from the playtests, which is the big one that he's talking about. He doesn't get any of that because they locked his accounts out. That is not Web3. That is not blockchain. So this treasure chest idea and the fact that the minting of it just makes it so you lose your bonus points, that's a huge, huge issue. Because now they lock your account. And
but ultimately, I think if they change their user agreement, they have to unblock his accounts.
Do they?
I think so.
The problem with that is
now no longer against their terms and conditions, then they should release those accounts.
I 100% agree with you. They're trying to say that there's two different types of multi-accounting, though. There's multi-accounting to extract from the system, meaning like you're taking away from the ecosystem and dumping on the market, essentially. Like you're taking out of Gala but not putting back in. And then there's the multi-accounting for security reasons, decentralizing the actual node network. So how they're going to distinguish between the two of those, I have no clue. But regardless of the fact that your treasure chest is there and it's getting locked up for whatever they want, if you say something bad about them online and they get a little angry and they lock your account out, there goes your treasure chest.
Gala secret police out there, isn't there?
They're all over the place, man. Like, I can see how this proposal will decentralize where the nodes are at, because your big node holders are going to have to multi-account it and or sell their nodes out to maximize their earnings. It makes it really difficult for people to do that. So people that have hundreds or thousands, it's going to be incredibly difficult.
Well, and also, I mean, there's some serious logistics around that which need to be. How do you transfer the nodes, number one, from one account to another? Say you have 100 nodes in one account and then you want to have 100 accounts. What is the cost associated with that? And is Gala taking a slice when you transfer that NFT? Once they tokenize the node, and then is that contract got a 10% clawback on it every time you transfer it? And
they said they weren't going to take a fee.
They won't? Okay.
On the NFT transfers. And the 10% is only through like an OpenSea sale. Right, when they had that on there,
right?
Because you could always transfer peer to peer and not take any hit on anything like that. So,
apart from the fee,
if you sell it on right, aside from gas fee. So, but they did state that they were not going to charge this exorbitant, because people were throwing around 50%, 25%, some crazy amounts on whatever the sale would be. Obviously, that would hinder a lot, and it would also hinder decentralization of their idea of pushing that out there. So that again was stated, but it's not in the proposal. The other thing that was stated is that they're going to make NFTs first, the nodes NFTs first, and give people a chance to then distribute them. But again, that's not in the proposal. Like again, all we have is the Medium article. Although I think actually they did state that in that proposal.
They did.
The most recent one they did.
They amended it.
Yep, they actually did it on the first one too, midway, because a lot of people were bitching about it. Rightfully so. And they did adjust it. So, but
someone asked a question. Gallagher asked, "Have you requested Bitbender to come on, like the podcast, and talk about this?" I know we've been.
I mean, he would come on if I asked him. I'm actually supposed to go up to Canada. I'm probably going to do it next month and do his podcast with him, and I'll chat about it with him on there. Like, he knows. I mean, I've been talking with him about it. I don't agree with it. I've sent proposals in. I'm not hiding the fact of that at all. I think that there's more that can be done to actually decentralize the network, and not just in a technological manner and make it so there's on one node per account, but actually making it so it's more decentralized overall, both technically and individually. And this comes back to, again, the DAO idea. I know you guys hear me talk about DAO all the time, but if you have Wright and you have Eric that have 7,000 nodes apiece, and they're the largest holders, first off and foremost, they should sell their nodes to the DAO. Give a good deal, sell their nodes to the DAO, and the DAO itself, would be able to multi-account and run those. We've already got a system in place to be able to do that. And as more people come into the DAO, you decentralize that network as voting power even more. So it's a way around, and it's stuff that I've been bringing up as well, of trying to think of other ways to make this whole thing decentralized and a little bit better for the people.
I think they mentioned the number of counter proposals that they had received in their Medium article, didn't they?
It was like 3.
It wasn't. It didn't seem like that was a realistic number.
It wasn't.
It was like we had a couple.
Yeah, and I know, like, just if you were reading the Discord itself with the amount of people that were on there, there was a boatload of different proposals that were there. How many people actually took the time to email in and or DM Brink? I don't know. Like, maybe it is that maybe people just like to bitch and moan on Discord a lot, which is probably true, but actually not provide a solution, or take the guts to actually push something out to say, hey, yeah, I don't believe in this, but I think this might be better. Let's implement this. I know there was 2. Jesse, obviously, we published his, and then I put mine through.
Yeah, and ours had 3 changes that could be made.
For sure.
Right off. Like, so I mean, there's. Yeah.
So again, I'm not gonna. I don't like the proposal. I understand, the idea that it could possibly decentralize things, but is it the right way? Not in my opinion at all. I think it's actually going to hurt the little guy more than it's going to help him. So, but that's just me.
I agree with you. So
I know. I know you do. We talked about this a lot yesterday.
I'm going to pound my fist on the table and say, I agree, Nate.
I agree. You know what I agree on? I agree on the fact that I like this ETH pattern right here. It looks pretty nice. Gets me excited. I'm just so bullish with all the things that are happening. So, not to say that we can't go down any further. Obviously, we can always go down. But damn, things look good. Things look good. I'd be happy with this. I
mean, you like a year and a half ago, remember? Well, maybe more than that. I'm a big sentiment guy.
Oh, and you're talking here.
No,
this one here.
No, not even on the charts. I think I'm very empathetic to the market. I don't do the fancy charty shit you do.
You're a memethetic.
I'm memethetic. That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bogdanovs are dead, so I don't have that. indicator.
I think the meme will live on.
The meme probably will live on.
Yeah.
I generally feel like there is, it's not going anywhere. It's moving in the right direction. Some stuff is settling out, is the thing. I mean, I think government, markets, human endeavor are all coming together to sort of say, get on the train or fuck off.
Well, and I just think it's everybody's waiting on this ETF to get approved.
Yep. That'll be a big one. That'll be a big deal.
It's going to be a monster deal.
Mm-hmm.
So
you just look at the assets under management. It's just the power that they have to drive price. I mean, we talked about this in the past. Like as soon as a country adopts Bitcoin, we're going to just see it go through the roof. And I mean, when you think about America, it is kind of Vanguard and BlackRock. So, I mean, I think that is kind of the country adoption to a degree.
100%. Oh yeah. There's a shit ton of money. Hell, those companies alone have more money than a bunch of countries. So, so I don't know. I'm just kind of, it's summertime. I'm going on vacation next week, so I'm not trying to jump in crazy. I'm fully allocated into crypto. I mean, I posted in the Discord. I think I have some Doge. I have some ETH. I've got Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm. Do you like Bitcoin?
Dude, I haven't owned Bitcoin for years, dude. Like, I haven't owned Bitcoin for years, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting Bitcoin. Like, this is a big deal, I think.
Oh, I agree. I think that ETF gets approved.
Yeah.
Bitcoin's off to the races.
I think it's
in... I can take everything with it as well, is the thing.
Yeah, well, it will. I mean, the rising tide lifts all ships.
Especially when it's Bitcoin.
Yep. So,
been there, seen it, done it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to a rematch on the old.
Hell yeah.
On the old up.
Yeah.
I like the old.
Yeah. Up. I know. I'm excited for it.
Wow.
Do we want to briefly touch on kind of the OpenSea news that I saw just the other?
Yeah. Let's touch on that and then we'll wrap it up. Keep it around 45 minutes.
So basically, their deals platform is going to be their version of peer-to-peer swapping of NFTs. Which is a cool idea. I mean, one thing that when we first kind of saw this that you mentioned is the fee structure going to be the same? Is it going to be that 10%? How is that 10% fee going to be worked into that?
Explain the feature first.
There you go. You can select up to 30 NFTs.
Yeah. So basically, say someone has a Bored Ape that you want, and you want to trade them, I don't know, or if someone has an Azuki and you want to trade them Bored Apes for or whatever, you can basically make them an offer for up to 30 NFTs that you want to trade them for. And then you also have the ability to kind of sweeten the pot by throwing in WETH on top of that. So you can be like, hey, I'll trade you this Bored Ape and 0.1 WETH for that Azuki or whatever it may be. Which is cool to see. I mean, we already kind of we touched on it a little while ago, but the Posers app, they had a trading tool that's kind of similar, and they have, I think, probably like 30 or 40 different collections that have been approved by them that they will be like, yeah, no, this is a legitimate collection that you can trade on our platform. So, but I do think that being able to swap with one another has been something that's just been missing. And so to see someone like OpenSea do it.
That bottom paragraph there kind of points out what this is a reaction to in the zero fee marketplace Blur and their blend platform. So that's also a very bullish thing, is that there is innovation still occurring in NFT marketplaces. I did just get a little note here that said that one NFT of Jack Dorsey's first tweet.
Oh yeah,
which was he paid $2.9 million for
it's like $4.
They said it's like $4. You know what? I'll fucking buy it for $4.
Yeah, that's
Jack Dorsey.
That's the offers that are on it. So he's not going to sell for $4.
I'm sure he's not. I mean, I'll
offer him $8.
I will offer him $8.50.
Take it or leave it.
$9. That's the time I'm going to go. I know. You're out.
10.
Oh wait, I owe you a couple bucks from golf yesterday.
Damn, no, you don't.
Oh no, we owe.
It was a wash.
Was it?
No, it wasn't. But they made it sound like it
was. How about lunch?
Yeah.
How about lunch?
You bought lunch. There you go. We're good.
Sweet. Okay. Well, what else you got to say about it?
Not too much, really. I mean, I just saw this morning and had kind of see a couple things on Twitter about it. Obviously, CoinDesk put this out. But yeah, it was.
I have a question. So is this like going to be straight up directly integrated into the existing OpenSea UI, or is it a separate platform? And if so, is essentially when I go into OpenSea, first thing I do is hit profile and then offers received. And I go down that list and see if anybody fat fingered something that I might want to just accept.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll take that. Why are you paying 1,000 times more than it's worth? But I'll take it. And is it then going to be, is that going to come up in the offers received box?
That'd be interesting.
Like,
yeah.
Dude offered me like
I don't even know.
2 docks on elves for my Town Star storage.
That would be interesting to see, because then it becomes
because it becomes quite complicated in that
100%.
Yeah,
Probably going to be more of a peer. Well, actually, they said peer to peer, right? Like, as in, I think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be there. I think it's going to be more of, hey, Michael, we've been chatting on Discord. Let's do this, and you're gonna be like, okay, cool, and then we set it up.
I do think it will be at least somewhat separated, because like if you go and if you click on this link or whatever, it does kind of take you to slightly different user interface than the traditional OpenSea one. So that's a good question, though. I would if you make a deal for someone, I doubt that would show up on the OpenSea side. I feel like it'd almost be more like kind of silent auction-y in that sense of your.
It's going to be, definitely it's going to be, I haven't had one yet, but I'm sure, they're going to start rolling through is like OpenSea DMs. Hey, I notice you have one of these. Would you be willing to consider this composite offer of?
Where's it? LooksRare has that.
Yeah.
They have it integrated to where you can message people.
And do they structure currently like a multi NFT to single NFT, or?
I believe they do.
Actually. And how complicated can these deals get? Because it's set up to 30 NFTs plus WETH, right?
Yeah.
Could you do like a bucket of NFTs on both sides of the deal, or is it?
I would imagine so.
I thought so. Yeah.
I think you can on.
I see you have 3 Azukis. I want those 3, and I'll give you these 9 Bored Apes.
Yep.
Yeah. I would think so. The one thing that's going to be interesting is I wonder, is it going to be limited to? I would assume you're. Like, it's gonna have to be chain specific. I would assume. Like, I doubt I would be maybe, but I feel like it would get way more complicated if, say, you have an NFT on Ethereum, and I want to trade you 2 Ethereum-based NFTs, two that are on Polygon or whatever. I would assume it's gonna have to be chain specific as well.
That's an interesting question, for sure.
I think your assumption's correct right now.
But
at a point, they could cross chain it. So
yeah.
Do that.
And the other thing that's interesting is how does the gas transaction within that work, right? Do you just if you're just trading an NFT for an NFT, how do they assume the?
Well, they should wash out ultimately, shouldn't it? I
would think so.
Yeah, it's like in order to execute this transaction, you both need to have the right amount of ETH to pay the gas,
right?
But then they zero each other out because you're both paying.
Right.
To execute a deal.
True. Because you're both sending.
And they say, to sweeten the deal is what they put in terms of a percentage of WETH. Maybe, even on the bare bones, it's like you can make this a free transaction by.
I'd imagine so.
By covering the other person's gas fee.
Yeah.
As a bare
Interesting. I need to do some more research for sure.
Yeah, we'll look into it. Well, I'm gonna look at the other NFT platforms that are already offering similar stuff, because that'll kind of give you a gauge, an idea of what it's gonna look like. So
yeah, it's gonna be just within that same realm of what's being done. I just want to stay relevant.
Yep. Well, we're gonna end it there because we're going long. 48 minutes. Whew. People are tired.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys. It's good chatting, Michael. See you, Blake. Have a good day.
Take it easy.
All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.